Tonight, deciding the future of a fractured country. Ukrainians go to the polls to elect a new president. A candy tycoon claims sweet victory.
It's so important for Ukraine.
His plan to bring the country back from the brink of civil war. Portrait of a suspected mass killer.
He was really upset about why is the world so unfair to him.
Could police have prevented the murderous plot? And life-saving medication beyond financial reach.
I'm stage 4. The next step is death.
The high price of a potential cure.
CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo.
Good evening. After months of violence and uncertainty, millions of Ukrainians cast a vote for stability today. They elected a new president who wants to forge closer ties with Europe. Petro Poroshenko is a billionaire businessman with a solid political pedigree. He says his first trip will be to eastern Ukraine, where pro-Russian rebels used force and intimidation today. As CTV's Ben O'Hara-Byrne reports, they disrupted the voting, but not the results.
The chance to elect a new president was not welcome in Donetsk as ballot boxes were smashed and polling stations closed across the industrial heartland of Donbass, where pro-Russian militants have declared independence. In a few spots where they did open, intimidation guaranteed a low turnout. We just want there to be peace, said this voter, for us to finally have a legitimate president and for all this to come to an end. In much of the rest of Ukraine, this vote was seen as a show of unity. Many waited in long lines to cast their ballots, eager to have their say about the country's future.
It's so important for Ukraine, for us. It's so important.
What becomes clear talking to voters is that none of the candidates for president is seen as a perfect choice, but in the middle of a national crisis, this is a vote for stability, a vote for Ukraine.
I vote not for the person which I feel that I want to vote. I'll vote for Poroshenko because I hope that it will turn today.
So they rallied behind the billionaire candy tycoon Petro Poroshenko. Exit polls showing he won nearly 56% of the vote. Former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko a distant second. In a first-round victory, the man known as the Chocolate King is promising closer ties to Europe and to tackle Ukraine's crisis in the east head-on.
My first visit will be to Donbass, to speaking with the people of Donbass. For those people who don't take the weapons, we are open for any negotiation.
But tonight, Ukraine's military announced its anti-terrorist operation against pro-Russian militants in the east, suspended for Election Day, will start again tomorrow. Sandy?
Thank you, Ben. CTV's Ben O'Hara-Byrne in Kiev. Now, Prime Minister Stephen Harper was quick to tweet his congratulations to Ukrainians today for taking what he called an important step towards rebuilding democracy. And thousands of Canadian Ukrainians didn't just watch the election. As CTV's Katie Simpson reports, they took part.
This is the moment Ukrainian Canadians have been waiting for. Voters well aware they are able to cast ballots safely when some back home don't have the same luxury.
I really admire the courage of people in those regions who signed up to do this work, to prepare the elections at the risk of their health and life, and I really bow to them.
More than 6,500 people registered to vote in Canada. An RCMP cruiser sat outside the polling station in Toronto to ease safety concerns. With the exception of an angry voter being turned away because she wasn't eligible, the day was peaceful, with the community welcoming the early results.
Well, generally thumbs up. He's clearly pro-West, pro-business, pro-good governance.
I think this is clearly a resounding message from Ukrainians that this is what they want, and Canada backs that 100%.
In yet another message of solidarity, the Canadian government congratulated Ukrainian voters.
And we look forward to continuing to engage with the new government to ensure that they return to stability.
The Conservatives have taken a firm stance against Russia, imposing dozens of sanctions on President Vladimir Putin's allies. This prompted security concerns for the hundreds of Canadian elections observers on the ground, like Liberal MP Chrystia Freeland and Senator Raynell Andrechuk. But so far, there are no reports of threats or violence against any Canadians.
The international presence has made a difference. Ukrainians wanted to see us there.
The minister will reach out to the new president once election results are official. Stephen Harper isn't changing his position on Russia, with his office confirming that he has no plans to meet with Vladimir Putin at upcoming D-Day events. Sandy.
Thank you, Katie. CTV's Katie Simpson in Ottawa. We are